Hi everyone, welcome to General Chemistry 1 at APUS. I am your instructor, Dr. Liz Hanson. I just want to give you a brief walkthrough of the class. This class should look like your other classes, assuming you've taken something here with us before. Some areas here on the front, this is me. You can read more about me here at this link. My email. You can also email me through the course as well. You know how to do that over here through messages. That's probably my preferred way, but if you want to send me direct, you can go through that as well. Couple of things. You're responsible for all the information that's shared in this class, whether it be through the course syllabus, which I'll show you in a second, or these announcements over here. So try and get in the habit that every time you open the class, you read the announcements, okay? And again, if there's little dots, that means there's more to the announcement. You want to click on it and make sure you read the whole thing, okay? Here's the whole thing. I also will always email you the announcement as well. So you'll see it in two places, assuming you're checking your email. While we're in here, if you haven't seen my instructions, this class is using a free textbook this term for the first time, and it's done through here. It's called OpenStax, and the materials and the readings are actually here in the class, or you can go to this website and look at the book kind of in its entirety as well. So whichever you prefer. There's a lab manual and, in fact, more importantly, a lab kit that you need, and I want to talk about that real quick. Down here is the information. You need to buy an eScience lab kit. You have to go through the bookstore, read all of this. You need the kit. You need it right away. So please make sure, if you haven't already done so, that you are ordering it, as it says here, this first week of class. Now, what happens once you have the lab kit? We're going to get to that in just a second. Some other information: calendar, due dates. You can see things are due Sunday nights, so that's why you've got the little blue box here. You can click on that date, and it'll show you what's due. Okay, how nifty is that? All right, so you guys can read through about the course description, good things like that. Our menu options over here, again, if you want to just read the announcements in a little larger maybe format, here's where you can see the announcements. These will stay up all semester, okay? And again, remember, you're responsible for what's shared in these announcements. You're also responsible for what's in the syllabus and what's required of the course, and I'll show you that in a second. So, calendar, messages, that's where you can email me or your classmates. Be careful if you send a message that you're sending it just to me and not the entire class, if it's something, of a personal nature. Forums is where our discussions are held, and we have our first one. In fact, everybody's already in and working, which is awesome. You can read about me and reply, but then this week you're required to introduce yourselves to us. Now, for every discussion, you can read the instructions up here, and it's important that you follow. Here's where I talked about the requirements of the course. That's this kind of stuff. Read the instructions. Make sure that you are following all the guidelines and requirements, or you're going to lose points. And I know that usually means you get a little frustrated later with yourself. So make sure you're reading and following along. So for instance, in this first discussion, you have to write a short biography about yourself. That's part 1. Part 2, how you complete the class. Should you experience any technological issues, your computer goes down, your Wi-Fi is out, some things like that. And then also you have to reply to at least 2 of your classmates, or to me, to those posts. When you make your post, your title has to say your name / introduction, which you see most people are doing. Maybe not everybody, but most people. Make sure you're following all these guidelines. And then it kind of gives you an idea, what should you talk about? Well, here's some ideas. If you want to include your picture, we'd love to see pictures. It kind of puts a face to a name, and you guys get to see me, so I want to see you. Part 2, kind of why are you taking the class? You can answer some of these questions if you want. And then also, again, don't forget any issues with computers. Answer that as well. How are you going to, meet the deadlines, things like that. Maybe you are very familiar with online classes and you have a system in place. So for instance, I'm very used to online teaching, and I have a system in place that typically I try to log in when I get up in the morning after I've had my cup of coffee and I sit down. I try to log in every morning before 9 o'clock and do my work for the day. But that means I'm done for the day. I don't have anything else kind of weighing over my shoulders. I'm done with my work online. Now, what if something happens? What if one morning I sleep in or I have an appointment or something? Well, that's the beauty of online classes, right? And that is that it can be somewhat flexible. So for me, if I can't work in the morning, like right now, it's Monday night because it's a holiday, it's Labor Day, and I spent the day with my family. So that might mean that I have to log in at the end of the day. Again, that's just me. I try to get it done first so that it's not weighing on my head all day long that I have to work. But if I can't, I still, that also leaves me all day in case something comes up. And again, speaking of things coming up, remember you have due dates. Sunday night is the end of our academic week in this class. Don't put things off to the last minute because stuff inevitably happens. And not necessarily every week it'll happen, but your power might go out, your Wi-Fi might go out, maybe you have a broken piece of equipment in your lab kit and you waited till the last minute, so now it's going to be late. Or you get sick or something happens. So please, please try to work a little bit every day of the week. Maybe since the introduction here for this week doesn't require any chemistry knowledge at all, maybe do this on Tuesday. After you watch this video, make your introductory post. Share a bit about yourself. Try and do a little bit each day, and then it's not so overwhelming. Okay? What else do we have? E-science labs. Well, when you're ready to do the lab, and some of you have already asked me questions about this because you're working already, here's where our labs are. They're actually listed in 2 places, but this is where they are. In fact, they're referenced. Go to the e-science lab area. Okay? Now, when you're ready, click on the lab, and you will see, start here, click here. And then you kind of go to this page and go, what in the world? Well, yeah, guess what? You need to click one more time. And again, it still doesn't look like anything's happening, but if I go to my downloads, here it is. Okay? And again, it outlines in great detail what you're supposed to do. And again, be sure you're reading these instructions. If the lab tells you it has to be a PDF document that you upload, it has to be a PDF document that you upload. Anything else will not be accepted, and you don't get another, like a do-over on your labs. So make sure you do it right the first time. And again, just reading and following the instructions. The instructions are very specific, so just make sure you're following them. And again, what I mean by that, this says after you do, the first couple of steps, make a label or a sign with your name, the title of the lab, just boom right here, even lab 1 is fine, and the date, put it next to your bullseye. And all 3 have to be on the label. It has to be in focus, so when you take your picture, look at it before you upload it. If you can't read it, I can't read it. So take a new picture if you need to. And then you need to save the picture as a PDF document. You might not have ever done that before. My pictures on my iPhone, they're not PDF files. So you would need to click on this link, follow it along to another download, and that is, how to turn pictures into PDF files. And it's pretty simple. I know it looks like it's a lot of steps. Basically, you're going to open a Word document, you're going to insert your picture that you took from your phone or wherever it is, and you're going to do save as a PDF, and that's it. Okay? But again, check your pictures before you do them, make sure that they're meeting all the requirements. Let's go back here to the class. Lessons. This is a really important area as well. This is where I recommend after you read the weekly announcements that you go to. And again, an overview of the course, getting started, make sure you read each and every one of these. And then right now we're in week 1, which is lesson 1, part 1. And again, you want to go through each and every section. The overview, let's go through here, talks about what you're going to be learning, what the objectives are, your learning concepts, the deliverables. You've got a lab, a quiz, introductory forum I showed you, chapter 1, chapter 2, reading, and again we're using the OpenStax, which is free, and some additional information, references, a great periodic table, a reference sheet, which is always good to use, recommended additional problems, and then down here you can either go one of 2 places. Required week 1 reading and resources, or let's go to next. And as I said, that OpenStax book is free, and we've embedded it within the course, so you can read it just if you want within the sections like this, or if you want to go right to their website and view the entire book, you sure can. So this is the chapter 1. You can kind of see it's long. It's a whole chapter of great pictures and information and problems and some videos. You need to be reading all of this, watching the videos, doing the practice problems, all that good stuff. Okay? And when you're done, bottom right, next, excuse me, and then you're on to your lab. So again, you're going to be using the eScience lab. Go through the tab, follow the lab, click and download. You're using our instructions. So eScience comes with its own lab book, but we've modified the instructions slightly, and you're responsible for following the APUS instructions, which are in each class. Just like I showed you a minute ago that you download that file. Okay? What you're going to need here, all that good stuff. And again, before beginning any experiments, make sure all of your equipment is in your kit. In fact, hopefully you're still watching this video. When you get your kit in the mail, there's a list, an inventory list. Open and check each and every item. It's kind of a fun little kit. If you haven't received it yet, it's like, I don't know, it's just a fun little kit. I hope you really enjoy just going through it and seeing all the cool things that you're getting with the kit, which is yours to keep, by the way. But go through the inventory list, open each item, make sure nothing's broken, cracked, or whatever, because you're responsible for having that equipment in working order when you go to do the lab. And again, if you haven't opened your kit, you didn't see if there was a broken or missing item, and you wait till Sunday night of the week it's due, it's going to be late. So check it right now, or as soon as you get your kit. Make that your #1 priority. It'll take you 10 minutes to go through the kit, and like I said, it's kind of fun to see what's in there. All right, and then, whoops, sorry, back to lesson. I should have clicked next to finish it up. Last part down here is the review. What are we reviewing? Again, at the end of week 1, you don't have anything in terms of chapter 1 or 2 other than to read it. You will see when we hit lesson 2 that you have something to do. Okay. Here's our overview for week 2. This will be next week. Okay, this will be next week. You've got a quiz to do. But in week 1 of the lesson, you're always reading the chapters, practicing working problems, things like that. Again, our forum, there's our syllabus that outlines everything. Click through all this other stuff, testing quizzes. Oh, I want to show you that real quick. That's where you're going to actually submit the labs when you're ready. So for instance, lab 1, let's see when it's due. Some instructions here. Again, for the labs, you can come back and forth. You can submit one question at a time, each day if you want. The labs are different than the midterms or finals or quizzes, so you can go back and forth. When you're ready, now here are the instructions. Now, again, these instructions are also in the document itself that we downloaded a little bit ago. Where did it go? Right here, okay? But this is where, again, make sure that you're reading this and you're uploading the right file in the right format, all that good stuff. Okay, so please upload in PDF format your picture of your accuracy, your bullseye, with the label and all that. It has to be one picture. I have to be able to read it or you don't get credit. And again, I can't say this enough, you don't get do-overs. So it needs to be right the first time. So spend 5 seconds, take a look at your picture that you took, make sure that it's readable, viewable, and then click Browse and find the file. Now this isn't the file, but let's say that was my file. And once the file is there, and then you can click Upload, okay? And then each question is like that, okay? It has the very specifics of what it's, what you're supposed to be doing, what step reference that. And so for this one, you only need 8 questions, okay? And in fact, for this first one, you don't need your lab kit because we're assuming a lot of you are still waiting on it. So you're good to go there. Your grade book, if you want to look at your grades, all sorts of fun little things. The library, if you need a tutor, our library has a great tutoring center. Otherwise, I think that's about it, guys. If you have questions, please never hesitate to reach out to me. I'm looking forward to a great term, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.